Hello, cinephiles, and welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where three idiot friends talk about movies. And today we start talking about our upcoming Netflix specials, some funny things in comedy, and Isaiah's favorite movie, Minions: The Rise of Gru. We're going to start our day off with This Week in Hollywood. But before we get to that, I think Bethany has some announcements.
I was just going to say, watch out, there's spoilers ahead. I was going to give that warning if you want to do.
Watch out, there's spoilers ahead.
Jacob.
Fix it in post.
I have to do that.
Leave it in.
Oh my God.
Okay, but at this point, you've been watching us for a while. You should have seen this movie especially by now. But yeah, spoilers ahead for movies and other TV shows and stuff. And now, This Week in Hollywood.
That's the intro.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It's what do you call it? It's Mario with a star.
Oh, it is. I just realized it sounds just like it. Are you a big fan of Amazon's The Boys? Well, we got news for you. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the man you may otherwise know as Negan from AMC's The Walking Dead, has been added to season 4 of the massively popular show, and the actor has been casted in a mystery role, marking yet another supernatural reunion for the series.
Wow!
Meanwhile, Minions, my favorite movie, The Rise of Gru, hits over $500 million at the international box office, which is a huge milestone for the meme of a movie. As someone who works in the theater industry, unfortunately, I can confidently say that I can't wait for this movie to be out of theaters. I've seen enough kids in suits.
Please, for the sake of Isaiah, and for the sake of us, please.
Well, since we were talking about theaters, you've probably been to at least one Regal theater in your lifetime. I have been to quite a few. Now, the world's second largest cinema chain might be nearing its end. Cineworld Group plc, the owner of Regal Cinemas, is preparing to file for bankruptcy after struggling to rebuild movie theater attendance from pandemic lows.
Francis Lawrence, the director behind The Hunger Games, I Am Legend, and many other movies, is set to direct Netflix's BioShock, which Isaiah is super excited about. The renowned video game has a strong fan base that has long been awaiting a feature film adaptation, and it has also been stated that Michael Green, the man who wrote the screenplays for films like Blade Runner, Logan, Alien Covenant, and others, is set to write the screenplay for the film.
So it might not be as bad, but Netflix has got a terrible track record.
It has a shot.
Yeah. Anyway, HBO's House of Dragons has received an early renewal for season 2, the prequel based off the hit TV series. Game of Thrones has had a massively successful premiere, making it the most watched new original series on HBO ever.
I still haven't seen it.
Me neither. I haven't seen a single episode of Game of Thrones in my life.
In our similar talk of box office ratings, your boy, Jordan Peele, just released his new movie, Nope, which has reached about 148 million at the global box office. Thank you for the whistle. Mm-hmm. The serious UFO story has been killing it in the domestic box office with over $117 million in profit. But since it started playing overseas, the film has received over $30 million internationally, bringing it to a total of 148 million worldwide. I wish I had $148 million. That would solve a lot of my problems.
It would solve a lot of people's problems. And that concludes This Week in Hollywood. You can find all of our sources cited on our Discord in the Sources channel. Thank you for tuning in.
Little side note, this is filmed a week before September 3rd. Therefore, this episode will come out after National Cinema Day.
Yeah.
My mind is not completely gone, but since I work in a movie theater industry, should be fun this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And next episode, you'll find out how bad it was when I probably tell you some horror stories.
Hell yeah, brother.
Dude, I'm so excited. I really hope. I just hope there's one good. I just need one. One story, one good one.
One story. I have many, but they're not from cinema.
I mean, I will take more than one, but I'm hoping that there's that one story that's just surpasses the rest.
No, don't wish that upon us, because that
That's
means me and my manager.
Yes, this will be coming out September 5th, Labor Day, actually. So happy Labor Day, everyone.
Oh shit, I have next Monday off. That's awesome.
Yeah, same. So 2 days after National Cinema Day, but we did post on the Instagram about it. So I'm sure some of you have gone out and reaped the rewards. Poor Isaiah.
Yeah, I'll see you guys there.
Yeah. So, Lewis, has a drink for us today. Lewis, what do you have?
A drink?
Yeah.
What's alcohol?
The best thing. No, that sounds bad. Seventh best
Inner
thing?
alcoholic is coming out.
Seventh best thing?
Seventh.
No, it is definitely the greatest thing humans ever discovered.
I could think of 7 others.
The 7 wonders of the world.
7, yes.
I would put them in this order. The greatest things ever discovered by man. Number 1, alcohol. Number 2, sliced bread.
Yes.
Fire. Number 4, toast. Number 5, more alcohol.
Grain alcohol specifically.
Grain alcohol. Okay, no,
Green?
but actually, grain.
Oh,
Like
I was
wheat.
like, the fuck is green alcohol? Because all I could think of is like
Chartreuse.
Jägermeister. Oh,
Jägermeister's brown.
isn't the bottle green?
Correct, but the liquor itself is brown.
Well, yeah. I was just thinking like green alcohol. That's the first thing that pops in my mind. And then Jameson.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, the bottles, sure.
Yes.
All right, welcome to Big Lou's Big Brews. We're on quite a roll today.
Yeah.
Today's drink is called the Davy Jones Locker
Ooh. I like the name.
thing. So the bartender is quoted as saying, "I was listening to a lot of Beastie Boys when I came up with this one," says
Oh.
NYC bartender Brad Farron.
Respect.
The Davy Jones Locker, a reference to the line from Rhythm and Stealin' from License to Ill, is a 1973 sailor's euphemism for the bottom of the ocean or death by drowning.
Mm-hmm.
In keeping with the vaguely Caribbean implications, Farron winterized the daiquiri using gold rum, Fernet Branca, and a riff on the grapefruit cinnamon tiki staple, Don's Mix.
Wasn't expecting cinnamon.
Yeah, I wasn't either, but actually this is kind of a cool recipe here, and I'll share it with you guys in just a moment. So to make our drink, here, let me put the photo in Discord first.
Yes, please. Ooh, that is
Got a
pretty.
little
I like the
lime
color.
wedge for the scurvy. So our ingredients are going to include 2 ounces of gold rum, in this case, preferably Appleton Reserve,
Okay.
a 1/4 ounce of Fernet Branca,
Okay.
1 ounce of grapefruit juice, a 1/2 ounce of cinnamon bark syrup, and a 1/4 ounce of lime juice. You're going to garnish that with your lime wheel. You're going to add all your ingredients to a cocktail shaker. You're going to add ice and shake until chilled. You will strain into a small wine or coupe glass, which is the glass you see in the photo, and you will garnish with a lime wheel. There is an editor's note here. If you wanted to make your cinnamon bark syrup at home, you're going to simmer 1 cup of sugar with 1 cup of water and 3 tablespoons of cinnamon bark over medium heat for 10 minutes. You're going to let that cool, bottle it, and store it in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. Though, based on what we've heard today, what do you guys think?
I want to try some gold rum.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the, I see even that. By gold rum, do you mean like rum that has little flakes of gold in it? Like the Goldschlager kind of aspect?
No.
Oh, what do you mean then by gold rum?
The gold rum tends to be like a rich and soothing taste to it. And it's going to be stronger than your white rum, but not as strong as a dark rum.
Okay. See,
So it's more like the color of itself. So like there is Bacardi Gold, but it's just going to be like one of those. So you're going to have white rum is your basic cane sugar rum, and it's going to be like your weakest one. And it's usually going to be the one that's like white is going to be smooth, subtle, and often refreshing. So it's going to be like your Bacardis and stuff like that you find at most bars. Your dark rum is going to be your spiced rums like Captain Morgan, or other like higher shelf rums. And your gold rum is like your middle ground, where it's going to have that color almost appearing like gold tequila.
Did you say straight mid?
For real, no cap.
I had to. Continue.
And it is going to have, and they're going to be aged in oak barrels, which transfers a part of the barrel to the color, which is what gives that color of gold rum. It gets its appearance from the white oak barrels.
Well, either way, I still don't. I just don't know this one. I mean, the grapefruit aspect sounded good. Like everything sounded. I was all on board for the whole thing until you said the cinnamon, and I don't know how I feel about cinnamon and grapefruit together. That just does not sound good. I could be wrong. I like both. I just don't think it's a good combination. So I'll give it like a 3, just a straight mid, just because I don't know. I'm open to trying it, but I don't think I'm gonna like it.
And your rating?
Yeah, I just said it.
She
Three
said
out of 5. Oh, straight mid, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
straight mid 3 out of 5.
Straight
Straight
mid,
mid.
3 out of 5. I'm gonna go with 3.5 out of 5 because I think it might be good. I like rum. I like to try gold rum. I don't know how I feel about lime juice or cinnamon. That does seem like a fun combo. But hey,
Oh yeah, that too.
we're here for a fun time, not a long time, So why not?
Lime juice usually is there to add a little bit of sourness to the flavor, as well as bring
I feel
out
like
some of
the
the other flavors.
grapefruit does enough for that.
I mean, sure, but so like I'm going based off like how you use limes in mojitos, because mojitos you have mint, sugar, and then your lime, and your lime is supposed to give you that sourness, so it's not like a super sweet drink.
Gotcha.
I know that the grapefruit's supposed to be like way more acidic, but I don't know.
Also
I'm
more
wondering.
bitter usually.
Yeah, I want to say that it may be offsetting the Fernet Branca,
Mhm.
as well as the rum's like smooth and silky taste. So it might be like both are meant to offset as well as bring out more flavor.
Yes. So what would you give it then, Lewis?
Just because I'm not a rum person, I would say that's 3.5 as well. But on the realm of drinks that would like, this sounds cool and like at least for like a rum cocktail, I would definitely like put this on the higher end of what I would try to drink.
Okay.
So
As opposed to what would you put on the lower end?
mojitos, actually. I don't like mojitos. Or I'm not a fan of daiquiris either.
I don't know if I've had I think I've had a daiquiri before. I don't know. You have so much alcohol that all just mushes together. Oh my god, I sound so bad.
Daiquiri wackery,
Daiquiri wackery.
Well, thank you for your drink, Lewis.
Very welcome, guys.
You did great.
Now we're going to move on to Beth's question of the day. Hooray.
My question of the day. Hooray. That's my new theme song now. Okay, so this is a fun little game that I have put together. So you know how like Urban Dictionary, how there's a game where people will take terms from Urban Dictionary and they'll say what the word is, and then the people have to guess what the definition of that word is, and whoever gets kind of closest gets like a point or if it's like the more creative one, they get the point. You guys heard of this?
Vaguely, yes, I know of it.
Okay. Either way, it's pretty simple. We're going to be doing basically the same thing, but with pirate slang. So this is just terminology. And I actually looked into a lot of different sites on different terms that were actually used during not only just the Pirates of the Caribbean series, but also just with real pirates. So there's some that aren't mentioned in the movies, but it's going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys both just, a guess. All right, I'm just going to start. So your first pirate slang is crack Jenny's teacup. Crack Jenny's teacup.
Gonna crack Jenny's teacup.
What do you think that means?
It sounds like you're about to,
No, I don't know, Isaiah. What do you mean?
about to have some fun in Tortuga, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that's Isaiah's guess, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Lewis.
I'm gonna guess crack Jenny's teacup. Break some teeth. I don't know.
Break some teeth.
That's a creative one. I kind of want to give it to Lewis for creativity. You guys are both wrong, but I gotta hand it to Lewis. At least he didn't think dirty minded, because I also thought dirty minded.
You
So
guys are just on the same page,
yeah, crack Jenny's teacup is to spend the night in a house of ill repute.
Oh, so no, I'm more right.
You're more right, but you're not right.
How is that not closer?
Hold on.
Than
You have the closer answer. You have the closer answer. She's saying I had a more creative response.
I was going to say, yeah, because like that makes no sense.
Okay, so your next one. There's only 3 because I feel like most of the ones I found were pretty commonly used to the point where they weren't fun. Like
scallywag.
scurvy. Yeah, there was scallywag and stuff, and I was like, okay, that's not fun. So I went deep into the web for these. So your second one
Go to the dark web,
is
guys.
no, please, they're listening. The second one is hornswaggle.
There was a wrestler named that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, you got hornswaggle.
I'm gonna go with.
It's not a wrestler.
No, not a wrestler. I'm gonna go with like a short, like a little person.
Okay. All right, Isaiah, what's your guess of what a hornswaggle is?
Hornswaggle? I mean, it's like some type of like wrangler for bulls or animals or something like that.
You're You're both wrong, obviously.
Okay.
But I don't know who's more creative in this. I like the idea of calling someone a hornswaggle. So I want to give it to Lewis, but I also want to give it to Isaiah so that you're tied. So I'm going to give it to Isaiah out of pity.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So hornswaggle means to cheat or to swindle someone.
You hornswoggled me.
Mm-hmm. Basically, it's more of a verb than a noun, I guess. So
In this instance, I had to correct myself here. I threw in a picture of the wrestler, but he was actually Hornswoggle.
oh,
I've been
I don't know what that means. I feel like that might be different.
hornswaggled.
Now, this last one is my personal favorite, which is why I saved it the best for last, because it made me audibly laugh at work when I read it. The word is cackle fruit.
Cackle fruit?
Cackle fruit?
Cackle fruit. I'll type it out so you can
Did you
see how it's spelled.
Are you telling me that you read cackle fruit and you cackled at work?
All right, Lewis wins because of that.
My guess on what cackle fruit would actually be like weed.
Weed.
Drugs of some
Marijuana?
kind. Marijuana. The devil's lettuce?
The devil's
Oh,
lettuce.
God. Okay. All right. Isaiah?
I'm gonna go with like it's an actual like it's a food of some kind, but like it makes
What kind of food?
I don't know. I'm gonna say like a coconut of some sort.
So your final answers?
Yeah.
All right. So Isaiah's definitely closer. He's on the right track, but it is not a coconut. It is a chicken egg.
Okay.
So I actually was curious as to why they called it that. And the name comes from the sound that hens would make when they would lay the eggs. So they called them cackle fruits.
What? And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is. It
They're pirates.
makes sense.
Okay. they weren't the smartest.
exactly.
So, but yeah, those are your 3 pirate slang terms. So if you want to go call someone a hornswaggle, I guess it wouldn't really. If you want to go hornswaggle someone, go for it. Actually, no, I do not condone hornswaggling. Please don't.
Don't you dare hornswaggle my cackle fruit.
I want to.
That was quite a sentence there, bud.
Yeah.
Do not deceive my
That
chicken egg.
broke me. I hate it so much. Anyways, okay, that's the end of my segment. Let's get past this. Isaiah.
We also, I don't know if we ever mentioned which episode we're covering today. This is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, episode 2.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. But I mean, if you're here, you probably came from another episode, so you probably are up to date.
We hope.
Yeah. Isaiah, what do you have for us today?
Hi. So it's fact time. This is you can insert. Yeah, you can insert my jingle there. So got a few of them here. Some of them are really weird. Some of them not so much. But we're gonna start with some stuff. All right. Anyway.
Oh wow. Stuff and things.
So while filming the ending scene, we're gonna start right at the end of the movie.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. No, I'm gonna keep that at the end.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start over. All right. So here's some facts. So Dead Man's Chest and At World's End, which is the 3rd movie, which we'll be doing next week, they were filmed back to back. However, the films were rushed ahead of schedule because before the scripts were even done for the film. And as we know, that's always such a great thing because it works every single time.
It always
that
goes
happens.
perfectly fine. Yes.
So Davy Jones was animated by Industrial Light and Magic.
Hey.
Our good old friends here who made Star Wars, they're back at it again, and they're here to animate Davy Jones.
Hell yeah, brother.
No wonder it looks so good.
Yeah. Now they did a lot, like the CGI team, like their team did a lot.
I have so many notes written on that, but it's insane.
Yeah, they did an amazing job, especially with half the crap that they did to make this movie happen. Very fun. So the texture of Davy Jones's tentacles was the result of one of the concept artists looking at a stained styrofoam coffee cup. Put it in that was thrown in the trash. She looked at it, said, "Huh, that looks nice." 3D scanned it, and then used the texture in Photoshop to like use for concept art. And the digital model supervisor, Steve Walton, used it later to texture his skin on the end of his tentacles.
That is
in the movie.
Genuinely impressive.
Yeah.
You got to be creative, you know?
Honestly.
You got to be really creative. I don't think I could do that.
Now, Bill Nye, who is not Bill Nye the Science Guy, not that guy. Bill Nye, which is an amazing actor. He plays Davy Jones. And he had to wear a mocap suit while filming. So like everybody else, you know, they got to wear Jack Sparrow got to wear, you know, the Jack Sparrow outfit. But all the crew of Davy Jones they had to wear mocap suits. So while they're all talking, they're all just hanging out wearing Ray suits covered in white balls.
They look ridiculous, didn't they?
Yes, especially when they got wet.
Have you seen the behind the scenes of like just movies in general? Especially the one that pops into mind is Twilight, where it's like the side by side of like Jacob as the wolf and then like Jacob in the mocap suit, and it just looks so awkward.
It does. It's funny to look at though.
Oh yeah, I just could not. That's why I could never act, is because I would not be able to stop laughing.
So now the normal process of using mocap suits would be filming in a very controlled environment. So there would not be anything. They would be like in a sound stage. It would just be like an empty room, about like 16 cameras surrounding them, and everything would be captured inside of a computer on that set.
Mm.
However, for this movie, they wanted to actually like have him go around and actually be in like the area.
Yeah.
And actually be able to act it out, and so that Gore Verbinski, the director, could actually talk to them and like do stuff on the spot. So they decided to create a whole new technology. So they made
Just for that movie.
Just for the movie. So they created a new technology called image-based motion capture. They coined it called iMocap.
I've heard of this.
They would capture the 3D data of the actor. So basically, he would be wearing the mocap suit with the white balls. They would capture his 3D data of his movements and everything he was doing while filming with the cameras. They would then take the actors in real time, overlay the animation data, angle it correctly to where the camera would be, and overlaid it on top of the 2D image. Therefore, every time they would just literally have the same exact image, but but in the 3D and 2D space.
I think I understood that. I feel like I need to see a video.
Yeah, there's a bunch of behind the scenes about it. But it's very cool the way they did it, of just taking the 3D space. They kind of had they faked, like, so in the computer software, right? It's just him sitting there. Like, if there's nothing there, it's all blank. So if he's coming down some steps, then in the 3D space, all you see is the mocap like rendition of his character walking down steps in space. Like, there's nothing there. So.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And then they would just angle the cameras inside the 3D space to be the exact same as the the 2D image that they were going for, and then they would overlay the 3D over the 2D, and therefore it would be exact.
Huh. See, now I knew of iMocap, but I didn't know that it came about because of Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's actually pretty neat.
So the movie was filmed in the open seas of the Caribbean as much as possible. They wanted the scenes to be as genuine as possible. However, this was very difficult.
Yeah.
To film because of the sand. They would easily the crew and the equipment, they would easily sink into the sand all the time. It was very annoying. It was also filmed during one of the biggest hurricane seasons on record. In fact, it was so bad that at one point the whole crew had to be evacuated to Los Angeles due to Hurricane Wilma.
Oh, I remember that hurricane vividly. A tree went through our roof.
Oh boy,
that's not fun.
Yeah, when I was watching the movie, I was actually wondering how much of it they actually filmed on a boat or on a ship, because it looked so real.
Most of it is. I think we actually I wasn't able to confirm this, or like I saw it briefly in something else in passing, but I didn't write it down. But I believe they actually made it's the Black Pearl and Davy Jones's ship. They made full versions of those.
I'm glad that they did, because it really makes it so much more immersive.
So speaking of the Black Pearl, to mimic the scene where it gets crushed, to mimic like actual tentacles of it being like crushed in half, the crew used a combination of explosives and 2 very large tubes filled with 30,000 pounds of cement, and then dropping it.
I honestly thought you were going to say they like put a octopus on like a toy ship.
Actually,
let it go.
Actually, well, our next fact here.
Oh,
after they dropped the 30,000 pounds of cement to replace it, and then replacing the tentacles in post, the Kraken was very difficult to animate as they had no real life references until animation director Hal T. Hickel instructed the crew to watch King Kong vs. Godzilla from 1963, in which they had a real octopus crawling over miniatures.
Oh,
nice.
Not what I was expecting, but that is amazing.
And then when they were on ship and they were getting attacked by tentacles, Gore Verbinski stood in as the Kraken's tentacles while on set, and he would just yell at the actors that I'm a tentacle, fear me, kind of stuff like stupid stuff like that.
Again, how do you take that seriously?
Now, Jack's gold teeth were bonded onto Johnny's actual teeth by a dentist before filming. However, some of his gold teeth in the back of his mouth are actually real, and there is.
I didn't even know there were any in the back of his mouth.
Well, we know that now.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I know this information about him.
Also, the toe necklace was Johnny Depp's idea when they were filming on the island.
I hate that. I hate it so much.
He was just talking to like the art director or something like that. He goes, "How about a toe necklace?" And they're like, "Okay." And they made a toe necklace.
That's great.
Nice.
And our last fact of the day, Gore Verbinski originally wanted Davy Jones to be Dutch, because his ship is called the Flying Dutchman. Bill Nye, however, responded, "I don't do Dutch, so I decided to do Scottish."
I don't do Dutch,
so I decided on Scottish.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye is a really weird character. Love him. And those are all our facts for today.
Whoa, good job.
Thank you.
Okay, well then I guess it is on to our franchise breakdown of the film that we haven't mentioned till 5 minutes ago. Dead Man's Chest. What did you guys think?
Lou, you want to go first?
Yeah, I really I really enjoyed the introduction of the Kraken and Davy Jones. Some more, I guess, background to the world itself, like the world building.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you what you said about the facts earlier with how it was also very immersive when they started doing like all of the ship scenes and all that stuff. And the Flying Dutchman and Davy Jones himself are like an old pirate legend that takes on, it has like multiple different versions depending on, I guess, the universe you're thinking about. Because I know there's like reference to it in like Assassin's Creed
and SpongeBob
and a bunch of other like, pirate related cartoons, games, and shows. So it is a very nice take on the story and the character of Davy Jones and the ship, the Flying Dutchman, as well as, like how they introduced the Kraken initially. When I say the film gets a 4 out of 5 from me, I really wish I got to watch it again before this, but it's been a very crazy weekend. And there's nothing off the top of my head that I would change personally. I think was planned out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I also very much enjoyed the toe necklace, even though it makes Beth very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I will concede my point here at 4 out of 5.
Okay. What'd you give first one? 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Fair. That's a fair ratings. Isaiah, what about you?
I forgot what I gave the first one.
I think you also gave it 5.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I docked off points for the weird sexualization parts.
Right. Well, it's even worse than this one, so.
It is true. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. So they obviously did not learn their lesson from last time. The movie's pretty good, given the fact that they didn't plan on any sequels. So them to pull this one out of nowhere, well, these next two out of nowhere, kind of, was pretty good. Given that fact. You can tell though that they didn't have really of a plan. They obviously had more of a plan than Star Wars did, because there was actually like some thought. Yeah, they started before the script was done, but at least it looked like they had an idea of what they were going for, and so there was a little more attention to detail. Like I do like they kind of reference things from the first movie that weren't necessarily like things would be like, oh, it continued, but I did like how they kind of bridged it a little bit to be like, yeah, this was a continuation, even though it wasn't planned to be one. Like when like how Beckett and him have apparently like have a history and stuff like that, but they also mentioned about his brand, which the brand is shown in the first movie, so they had a reference to being like, yeah, something happened. So I like the bridge. I like the little bridges that they built to keep like the continuity of it all, to seem like it's still. Yeah, like it's how it's still in like an ongoing story, despite the fact they didn't plan that to be. I do find it funny that they made Beckett as like this Napoleon character, that he seems so short in comparison to everybody. I think that was funny.
I didn't even notice that, but that is true.
Like he's just shorter. Like I don't think he's like 5'5", like the actor's like 5'5", but like they made him seem like he was 4'10", and it's just funny.
That's great.
So yeah, then obviously there was some mentions of like oh, that there's a woman on the ship, she's a stowaway and she might be naked, and everybody just freaks the hell out, or just I don't, why, who's writing this?
Yeah, well, The thing is,
Yeah, some of these writers need to go out and touch grass. Like, damn.
in that instance, I kind of get it because it's like they're pirates. They're all men on a ship, no women in sight. So that I understand. I shouldn't say I understand, but like that at least makes sense in the story to me. The other stuff, not so much.
Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't like that. And this is weird. And then some, I mean, like, it's a cohesive story, though I can tell that towards the end, they kind of didn't, they were like, oh, we have to make the second movie. So we kind of have to, like, do some stuff to set it up. So, you know, they have that weird Will Turner sees Swan kiss Jack. So now we have like, oh, there's a bit of conflict there that's gonna pop up in the next movie and stuff like that. I'm like, really?
Which,
like, how about?
Come on, how did he not freak out or talk about that? I would have been like, what the fuck? You just we're about to get married and you just kiss some other dude?
Yeah, I don't. It's like it's such a child. Like, you're supposed to be adults. It's such a childish thing, and like, oh, they're not gonna talk about it, so it's gonna be like some unresolved conflict throughout the next movie. I'm like, seriously, you couldn't have come up with like anything else other than this like what jump the shark level TV show trope? Like, come on. And then but yeah, there's a few things of like they don't know what the hell they're gonna do in the future, so they kind of have to like just kind of start making things up. Yeah, there's just a few things that kind of started falling apart at the end there of just, you know, you can tell like, oh, we can't wrap the story up, but we kind of have to have an ending too of this movie. So, oh my god, I didn't even include the last fact.
What's the last fact? Right, at the end of the movie.
Yeah, at the end of the movie. So the last fact at the end of the movie is that they didn't tell any of the crew that Barbossa was coming back, and they all thought Zoe Saldana's character was going to come back, and that's who was going to walk down the steps. So everybody's reaction was actually, everybody's reaction was genuine, that they didn't know that Barbossa was with the walk up.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty good addition. And obviously a plot twist, like, holy crap, who saw that coming?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like this movie does have a bit of lackluster than the original. Like, there's like some charm that's kind of missing from it. Though, you know, everybody loves the jar of dirt moment.
Oh yes.
But and then obviously the fight amongst of Norrington, Will, and Jack. Like, there are a lot of good moments, but for some reason, I don't know, I feel like the first one is still better it's still marginally better for some reason, and that obviously there was still an idea for it. And I don't think it helps that the next movie is like is literally 2 hours and 50 minutes. So I feel like this is just a weird setup, and that some of it could have been cut down because this movie's like 2.5 hours long too. So I don't know.
Yeah, they are unnecessarily long.
There's a bit of a loss of focus towards the end there. So I don't know what was going on. Like, obviously they didn't have a finished script, so they were kind of making up a bit as they went along, a bit, and it kind of shows just a tad. But yeah, so I still believe that Black Pearl is better. So I gave this one it's a 4 out of 5. So
okay, 2 4 out of 5s. Well, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
If I could, I'd probably give it a 4.75, but Isaiah won't let me, so it's a 5.
We'll let you.
Okay, it's a 4.75 then. Because obviously, because the first one's always gonna be the best, because, well, it speaks for itself. But I again have a big nostalgia tie in with this movie as well. I loved the special effects and the visual effects that went behind not only Davy Jones, because he's impressive on his own, but every single crew member on his ship, Bootstrap Bill, the freaking detail in even just like I was literally pausing the movie and like looking at each individual crew member, and they're all like unique. Like, one had a ship wheel like stuck in his back, and it's just like really little things like that. It's like so much time and effort went into it. It's really neat and really well detailed. Yes.
You pause it. There's like, so like we call it. You like try to. It's like looking at a 8K image, and you like zoom in. Every time you zoom in, there's something new to see.
Yeah, it's incredible. I also loved the Kraken. I think they did that really well. The only issue I had with the Kraken is, like, of course, when it attacks the important ship, it takes its sweet old time. But when we first see it, it takes 2 seconds to swallow a whole fucking ship. Like, that was the only complaint I had about it. I was like, well, of course now.
It's a Black Pearl. It's a little tasty snack. I'm going to take my time.
Yeah, that was the only complaint. But
I wanted to say that it was like maybe in the perspective of when we see it initially and it destroys the ship, it's like, oh, there's no one important. I can just wreck this shit.
Yeah.
Versus like the Black Pearl. I don't remember if the jar was still on the Black Pearl when it was going after it.
Yes.
Which is it was. So that's probably why it was taking its time. It needed to make sure that it wasn't going to kill Davy Jones.
That could make sense. But then remember Jack Sparrow goes off the boat.
No. He didn't know that. He thought it was Davy Jones had the box, and he thought the heart was still in the box. So no, he didn't care.
But probably the Kraken could sense it.
The Kraken wouldn't have been careful.
The Kraken follows Davy Jones. He just said, "Go eat that thing."
Oh, okay. I don't know. I was thinking that the Kraken would have sensed something was off. I
don't think the Kraken has a brain.
It does.
I wonder where it goes. Yeah, it's got a big body. It's somewhere in there.
It might not be like a sentient creature like the rest of us. It's definitely got a brain.
You guys are sentient. So I know there's mixed opinions on the whole cannibal tribe kind of aspect of the film.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Well, I remember like growing up and stuff, people didn't like, there were certain people that liked it. And then there's other people that hated that they were even there. They're like, they had nothing to do with the story. Like they were just there to drive the story forward, kind of a thing.
What I heard was people thought it was controversial because
that's another thing too. Yeah, and like I understand in that capacity, but like I'm strictly speaking in the sense of story, in how it's driving it forward, kind of a thing. I see what
you mean. Like, it felt like it was like a side quest in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, it did, but I was okay with it. Like people didn't like that it felt like that, but I personally did like it because it was like I was getting to see my favorite characters just have to deal with stupid shit
just on an adventure.
Exactly. It was really entertaining and I think it was really funny. Oh, you guys know who Gibbs is, right?
Yes. Mutton chops.
That's Big Lou energy right there.
Hell yeah, brother.
1000%.
Load the rum.
Yeah, 1000%. That is Big Lou. Something I did have written down that I was like, is how the fuck did any of them survive the fall in the
ball, that big
tribe and stuff? Yeah, how did they survive that? Or how did Jack Sparrow go through like 7 bridges and then land straight on his back on hard ground and not die? I get it. It's a movie. I know.
Armor.
It's ridiculous. But it's to the point where I'm like, okay, well, now we're getting to the like slapstick comedy where it's like, oh, these people can't die kind of a aspect. It's weird. I love the 3-way sword fight as well. I love the creativity behind it with the wheel. And like, again, I love whoever is the choreographer for these movies is a fucking genius because he uses the environment so well. And like everything that happens is a motivated piece, you know, like they do something 5 minutes ago. Well, now it's affecting these characters 5 minutes later in the fight. You know, I just like that. Anyways, yeah. So a 5 out of 5 or 4.75, sorry, out of 5.
Oh my God.
Okay. So do you guys have anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
No.
Amazing. Short, sweet, and simple.
Always concise.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for the support and thank you for listening to today's episode. You can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify at Silver Screen Sips and on Twitter at Silver Screen Sip with no S. You can also email us your movie suggestions for our listeners episode at silverscreensips@gmail.com. We have one at the end of every season. So we'd love to hear your feedback, by the way, on our new segment, This Week in Hollywood, so we can improve it and make it better for you guys. And yeah, anyways, that's pretty much all we have for today. So we will see y'all in next Monday's episode where we will review At World's End.
It's certainly the end of my world, that's for sure.
No, that's September 3rd, okay?
Crap, you're right.